Hello and welcome to the Liberal Studies presentation of the Multiple Subject Credential Program here at CSULB. This presentation is intended for CSULB students in the Liberal Studies major. If you are in a different major or you're getting your bachelor's degree at a different institution, then the program is a little different for you. So this would not really apply for you. Again, this would apply for only students at CSULB in the Liberal Studies major. If you have any questions about the presentation, make sure you reach out to us in the Teacher Preparation Advising Center, also known as TPAC. You're located in EED, room number 32. You could just look up our drop-in availability. Just Google CSULB Liberal Studies or CSULB TPAC. Basically a one-stop shop for any questions you have about the Liberal Studies major or the credential program. The agenda for today, we'll go over what is the Multiple Subject Credential Program, also known as the MSCP, and how to apply to the MSCP. So the MSCP is the program that allows you to get the multiple subject teaching credential to teach elementary school. A teaching credential is required to teach in the California public school system from K through grade 12. The teaching credential teaches you how to teach. So there are different credential programs depending on the grade level and population of students that you want to teach. So again, the MSCP is for elementary school, K through grade 5 approximately, depending on the school district, maybe up to grade 8. Then there is a special education credential. That's a totally different credential. If you want to teach 7th to 12th grade, that's a single subject credential. And if you want to teach college university, those don't, as far as teaching in a college university, a teaching credential is not required for those positions. So again, a teaching credential teaches you how to teach, and it is required in the California public school system. Depending on the grade level and population, that is the credential program that you will be pursuing. So the traditional MSCP, it is self-paced. It is these 5 courses plus student teaching. So these 5 courses do require fieldwork in each course, and there'll be 10 hours of fieldwork in each class. So 10 hours in language arts, 10 hours in reading, 10 hours in writing, 10 hours in math, 10 hours in history and social science, and 10 hours in science. You cannot double count those hours. They are separate hours. So it'll be 50 hours total for these 5 methods courses. And then student teaching is a separate 1 semester of student teaching, and it's 16 units. So when you look at your checklist of classes, you will see at the bottom where it's student showing ITEP MSCP. This means the student is pursuing the credential as an undergraduate. But these are the same credential courses. So even if you pursue the MSCP after your BA, meaning that you're doing in the liberal studies major, you're doing the BA only without the credential, then you pursue the credential as a post-bac after your BA, whereas ITEP, you are doing the credential as an undergraduate with your BA. So that's the difference. This credential program is the same. It doesn't matter either way. If you're CSUB liberal studies major, you are still, it takes you about 1 year to complete this credential program. So you'll see the methods courses, 15 units. That's 3 units each course. And then 16 units of student teaching for 1 semester. Student teaching will require a separate application the semester before you want to student teach. And student teaching, what student teaching is, you are in the classroom, you are the teacher basically, you are doing the lesson planning, the grading. You will have a master teacher in the classroom there with you at all times, but you will be the one basically running the class as the student teacher. You will be required to do a boot camp prior to student teaching. So it's about 1 to 2 weeks before the semester begins, whether you're doing it for fall or spring, looking at about 2 weeks before the semester that you will attend a boot camp, and the boot camp will go over what to expect in student teaching. It will go over the ins and outs of student teaching. You will get your placement at student teaching. For the student teaching application, you'll be allowed to give 3 potential school districts that you would like to do your student teaching in. And student teaching has a 25-mile radius around CSUOB. So as long as it's within that radius, then you can do student teaching at that school district. You can look this information up also on the multiple subject website for more information about placement in student teaching. But again, student teaching, you will have to attend a boot camp. We'll go over everything, and you will have a separate application to submit for student teaching. So there'll be one application for the MSCP, which I will be going over, and then there'll be a separate application for student teaching the semester before you want to student teach. Right now, liberal studies students, your BA requirements are giving you the knowledge, you're getting all the content information, you're learning the language studies, you're learning math, you're learning the natural sciences and history and social sciences. And then the credential program is going to teach you how to teach that information. It is a skill that's learned in the credential program. Now, you may be done or almost done with a lot of the BA courses, and you're wondering why, you haven't learned the methods, how to teach, and that's because that's what's given to you in the credential program. They teach you how to teach language arts, how to teach reading, how to teach math, how to teach history, social science, and how to teach science. So that is what the credential program is for, is to teach you how to teach. So the credential program requirements, what exams do you need to take? There's a basic skills requirement, which I will go over. The RECA is the Reading Instruction Competence Assessment. And the 2 courses that prepare you for the RECA are EDL 442 and EDL 452. Again, EDL 442 and EDL 452 are the 2 courses that prepare you for the RECA, so it would be highly recommended that you take the RECA after taking 442 and 452. Now, you will need to provide proof of registration of the RECA in order to submit the student teaching application. So again, a proof of, you don't have to have the scores for the RECA, you just have to provide proof that you've registered for a future date for the RECA. So say, for example, the student teaching application is due by October 1st, and then you signed up for the RECA for, say, December 1st. They will accept that for the student teaching application. You have to have proof of registration for the RECA. The Cal TPA is completed during student teaching, and during your boot camp for student teaching, they will explain the Cal TPA in detail for you, so you will understand what the Cal TPA is. And in student teaching, the boot camp is important. You must attend the boot camp for student teaching. I'll go over these admission requirements on the application. This is a copy of what the certificate of clearance looks like. This is valid for 5 years, so keep in mind that you must complete the credential within 5 years for the certificate of clearance to be valid. If not, you will need another pay and do a fingerprinting again for the certificate of clearance. So how do we find the application? You'll Google CSUB MSCP. I'm going to show you right now in a minute. Just give you the deadlines. So depending on the term you're applying for is the deadline. So the MSCP program deadlines, if you're applying for fall, fall is between August and December. Your deadline is July 1st. If you're applying for spring, that's January through May. Your deadline to submit the application is December 1st. And if you're applying for the summer term, your deadline is May 1st. So depending on the term, fall, spring, or summer, Your deadlines are according to that term you're applying for. Okay. All right, so let's go to the application. So what I say, you're going to Google CSULB MSCP. So just Google CSULB MSCP. You go to the MSCP website. And if you are doing the liberal studies BA only, that means without the credential, then you will need to reapply to CSULB. So this is because you'll be pursuing the MSCP as a post-baccalaureate, meaning after your bachelor's degree. So those of you in the liberal studies major doing the BA only without the credential need to reapply to CSULB. You'll see applying to CSULB here. And then you're going to fill out, you're going to go on Cal State Apply and submit the CSULB application on Cal State Apply. This is, again, if you're doing ITEP, you do not have to reapply to CSULB. Again, ITEP students do not need to reapply to CSULB. This is only for students that are pursuing the BA only without the credential that must reapply to CSULB. Either way, everybody must apply to the MSCP, and that's what we're going over now. So the MSCP admissions, click on this here. And you'll scroll down. And you'll see there's the application deadlines for the MSCP. The candidate interview is important. We highly recommend that you do the interview prior to submitting the application, because it could be done before or after, but highly recommended prior to submitting the application. And in order to set up a candidate interview, you can contact the TPAC office. Here is their phone number. Just give them a call and let them know you would like to sign up for an interview for the MSCP. And then they will set you up with a future interview date. You will not be calling them, and they won't be doing the interview when you call. They will give you a future appointment date for the interview. And don't stress too much about the interview. They just want to know why you want to be a teacher, what's your motivation for being a teacher. Do you have any experience in the classroom? You might just have the fieldwork experience. They understand that. They understand that you're just applying to the credential program. They don't expect you to be professionals. So don't stress about the interview too much. Just make sure that you dress professionally. Even if the interview is via Zoom, you want to be presentable and look professional. And make sure you're on time. A lot of the interviews are via Zoom. So just keep that in mind. Here are the program application requirements. So here you will, just so you understand the GPA requirement, you will need a 2.67 overall or a 2.75 within your last 60 units. And I'll go over this here. You'll see here program application requirements and submission. So here's your checklist. Again, the personal statement. Just describe why you have chosen teaching as a career and what you hope to accomplish as a teacher. What's your motivation for being a teacher? Do you have any experience in the classroom? Again, your field work, whatever you have, that's fine. You don't have to have much experience in the classroom. They understand that. So don't stress too much about the the personal statement. Okay. Okay, so the personal statement is 1 to 2 pages. And then you'll need to provide unofficial transcripts from each institution you've attended, including CSULB. Even if you transferred your credit over, you're a transfer student, you will still need to provide for the MSCP application unofficial transcripts from each school you've attended. You need to provide a negative TB test, valid for 4 years. Basic skills requirements. I'm going to show you that here. So on here, you're going to click on basic skills website just so you have an understanding of what the basic skills and coursework you can use. So many of you will meet the basic skills through coursework. So you'll click here. So you just need 1 course in reading, 1 course in writing, and 1 course in math. So you need 3 courses total for the BSR. But just 1 in reading, 1 in writing, and 1 in math. So when you look at your checklist here, you'll notice it has that information here. Area 1, Group 1 says B or better meets BSR writing. So you need a B or better in one in reading, one in writing, and one in math. So for writing, you have two options. For writing, Area 1, Group 1, and Area 1, Group 4. If you have a B or better on one of these, then you've met the writing basic skills requirement. For reading, you have three options. Area 1, Group 3, Area 5, Group 3, and Area 6, Group 2. So you just need a B or better in one of those courses, and then you've met the basic skills requirement for reading. Math, you have four options. You have Area 2, any of the math courses will fulfill the basic skills requirement for math. So again, you just need one course in reading, one course in writing, and one course in math. Say, for example, you did well in your reading and writing, you got a B in one of those, you're good with the coursework, but you didn't get a B or better in any of your math courses, then you will need to take the math CBEST for that portion of the basic skills requirement. So you can mix and match. You can do the coursework and the CBEST to fulfill the basic skills requirement. Subject matter competence. So for liberal studies students, you do not have to worry about this at all, so you could disregard this. This is your certificate of clearance. Confidential applicant recommendation form. I'll show you on the website. I'll show you this information again on the website. Interview. Again, do the interview beforehand, and you can contact the credential office to set up an interview. So let's go back here. You can click on here, My CED here, or you can click at the bottom here. It's going to take you to the My CED. Many of you that have completed the field work already have this access. You're going to click on Initial Teacher Credential Program Applications. I already have mine open, so I just click on an open, and then I click on Edit. So once you've opened it before, it saves your position and your information, and you just need to edit. Click on Edit to then update it. So here where it says Select Program, you're going to click on this. So are you doing ITEP or are you doing it the credential as a postbac? So if you're doing your BA only without the credential, then that means you're pursuing the credential as a post-baccalaureate, and you'll mark post-bac, whichever one if you're doing BILA or just the traditional. If you're doing ITEP, then you'll mark the ITEP, whichever one that you are doing. Okay? You'll fill out your personal information. And then here you're going to put the CSUB information, and then you're going to add the transcripts from CSUB. And also, so you'll mark here, highest degree earned or in progress. You are currently in progress doing the bachelor's degree, so you're going to mark bachelor's degree. And you'll put the information for CSUB. And again, if you've attended any other school besides CSUB, you need to provide unofficial transcript for each institution that you've attended. So you're going to click on here, and then each additional, however many you have, you're just going to keep clicking to then add those additional information from those colleges or universities, and then upload those unofficial transcripts. Here you'll see fill disposition form. Click on this here. And you're going to select the statement that best describes you for each of the items listed below. So whatever best describes your behavior. From left to right, does 1A best describe your behavior? Does 1B best describe your behavior? Or does 1C best describe your behavior? You're going to go all the way down 1A, 2A, all the way from left to right, each row. Each row is separate. And then you're going to fill out the information at the bottom and then submit. Okay. And for the basic skills requirement, if you've met the basic skills requirement through courses, you do not have to do anything here. So you'll see if meeting all or part of the BSR requirements through coursework, no upload is needed. It'll be reviewed on your unofficial transcripts that you submit above. But if you do need to take a test, so say, for example, as I mentioned earlier, you did well in your reading and writing, but not the math. You got a B or better, one in your reading, one in your writing, but you did not get a B or better in any of your math courses, then you need to take the CBEST. So then you'll upload the CBEST score here. Okay, any test scores you will upload here. If you're doing it through coursework, don't have to do anything. If you're confirming, if you've done the basic skills requirement through all of your coursework. Subject matter, again, liberal studies students don't have to worry about this. GPA review, if you don't have a cumulative 2.67 overall GPA, and you're not sure if your last 60 meet the 2.75, you could submit a review for them to review to see if you have the GPA for admission into the credential program. Excuse me. Then here you'll upload your TB test and your certificate of clearance. TB is valid for 4 years. Certificate of clearance is valid for 5. Here you're going to upload your personal statement. Here you're going to upload your final field week evaluation. Again, the final field week evaluation is not the log of hours. This is an evaluation by the demonstration teacher that you are doing those 45 hours in. They will do an evaluation for you. And then you're going to upload that here. Currently, what you'll be doing to request the evaluation, you'll notice here, clinical practice number 7. This is where you will, if you're doing the current, so at the conclusion of completing EDAL 200, 300, or 380, you'll fill out the demonstration teacher that you did the hours in, and then they're going to then do the final field evaluation for you. Going back to number 6, these are the recommendations. And so your recommender could be anybody who's not a family member or an EDAL instructor. So you'll see here, please remember that family members or EDAL instructors are not acceptable recommenders. So it could be your current employer if you're currently working, or a different teacher or instructor that you've taken. Say you work at a restaurant. It doesn't matter, your manager or a coworker can be your recommender. And you will just need to provide one recommender, put their name and email address, and then TPAC will send them something to fill out about you. If you do not have your final field week evaluation, then you will need to provide 2 recommenders. So put their first and last name and their email. Okay. All right. So again, if you have any questions, then what you want to do is contact the TPAC office. There is the phone number there. We have our drop-in availability, typically 9 to 12 and 1 to 4. And so stop by for any questions you have about the application process. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.